This presentation was produced under U.S. Department of Education Contract Number ED ESE 14D0008 with Synergy Enterprises Incorporated. The views expressed herein do not necessarily represent the positions or policies of the U.S. Department of Education. No official endorsement by the U.S. Department of Education of any product, commodity, service, methodology, technique, or enterprise mentioned in this publication is intended or should be inferred.
Hi everyone, and welcome to our Y4Y mini lesson, Administer for Success, Intentional Program Implementation. Today, we're going to talk about fidelity of implementation. Fidelity of implementation refers to the degree to which your program activities are delivered as you intend. Before getting started, be sure to download the corresponding tools and resources that will support and expand your work and knowledge within this click and go. Let's get started. When you implement with fidelity, you intentionally design activities to have an impact on students and ensure that those activities are being implemented as designed. Implementing with fidelity allows you to evaluate the approach you use and adapt and adjust instruction based on student response. To measure fidelity, there are 4 basic components you need to consider: adherence, dosage, engagement, and delivery. First, let's talk about adherence. Adherence focuses on how well we stick to the plan. Are we implementing as we intended overall? For example, if we are using a project-based learning approach, are we using a student voice to drive the activity? Do we have a driving question? Is there a project or a problem as the focus of the planned work? Second is dosage. Dosage refers to how often a student attends an activity designed to have an impact. This looks at the frequency or the number of times they attend and how long they are participating in the activity each session. For example, if you have designed your activity to meet twice weekly for 45 minutes each session, you'll measure whether that is the actual dosage students get. Whenever we are measuring fidelity, we need to consider whether students are getting the proper exposure necessary to impact change. Third is student engagement. When considering your plan, don't forget the importance of student engagement. Engagement can be described in many different ways. You just need to be sure that you are describing the measures you will use to determine whether it is happening. For example, are students working in small groups? Are they asking questions? Are they creating and/or developing a product? Lastly, there's delivery. Just as quality of student engagement is important, it's also important to focus on quality of delivery. For example, is the facilitator effectively using guiding questions to help students move to higher levels of thinking? Embedding opportunities to apply new skills, or differentiating the learning. Now that you can identify the basic components you should look for when determining if your activities are being implemented with fidelity, let's briefly review 3 tools that can capture fidelity component data. They are observation checklists, student portfolios, and rubrics. The first tool is observation checklists. The most reliable way to tell if an activity is being implemented with fidelity is by observation. Observations can be done by developing checklists to measure the critical implementation components we talked about earlier. Use those checklists to do regular visits to the activity, do spot checks, conduct peer observations, and provide follow-up coaching. While doing observations is time-consuming, it is the most reliable means of determining if the activity is being implemented with fidelity. The second tool is portfolios. Student portfolios are often used to help students demonstrate their thinking and development processes. Portfolios can also help you document student progress toward activity objectives. You can capture answers to questions such as these. Are students demonstrating an understanding of the content? Are they collaborating? Are they making progress toward their goal? The final tool is a rubric. Rubrics are a great tool to define the skills you want students to develop as they define and measure performance in any type of activity within your program. For example, if a teacher uses a scale of 1 to 4 to measure the completion of an activity, the rubric would detail what is needed to earn that 1, 2, 3, or 4. Rubrics define expectations and help ensure consistency in the evaluation process. Remember, Y4Y tools, such as the Intentional Program Design Diagram, the Creating Learning Objectives tool, and the PBL Training Starter Template, and many others that are designed to help you implement your program with fidelity, can be downloaded and customized from the Tools section on the Click and Go number 3 page of the Y4Y portal. Thank you for joining me today. Please let us know if we can help in any way.